watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Welcome to your Friday, everyone. It is 6 a.m. I'm Eric Conard.
And I'm Nada Irampour. And hopefully you've been enjoying this fall-like weather. Fall for San Diego is pretty good. Meteorologist Evan Irani keeping an eye on those temperatures. We're going for a little ride, huh?
A little bit of a ride.
Yeah, it sounds like inland's going to have more summer-like temps soon.
Very much so, especially by Sunday, Monday timeframe.
Nice.
Those are going to be our two warmest days in the forecast. So today we kind of kick off that temperature warm-up. You might have noticed yesterday that was the coolest day in the forecast. Today we're starting to build on that progress. Might have a couple low 80s inland. Here's a live look outside. Most of the fog that we were looking at over the last hour has cleared out of our valley floors and even off of the western slopes of the mountains. Off in the distance there at the top of your screen, you might be able to make out that now 93% full moon. Doesn't look obviously as bright as it typically does, and that's because that sunrise is in just a few minutes, so you won't be able to see it quite as much. Today's forecast takes us to the upper 70s inland. We'll make it to the low 80s across the mountains, and we'll mainly be in the low 70s out by the coastline. Coming up, we'll be talking about that warm up and then about the cool down we'll have on the back end as we go through the remainder of next week. Want to send things over to Vanessa, who's checking in on traffic for our Friday.
Hey, good morning. 6:01 the time on your Friday. Let's go ahead and start things off with our traffic maps and see what's happening outside. We have a breakdown reported on the 15 right at Villa Rancho that likely is going to slow things down as you make your way in from Escondido. It looks like a car, some sort of van is stalled in the middle lanes. As we take a look at those travel speeds out of Oceanside and Escondido, anywhere between 65 to 70 at last check. We're still on the green out of Santee and La Mesa, Grossmont. Good news if you're just waking up and headed out of those areas. On the 5 and the 805, we're also not dealing with any big issues as of yet. 62-mile-per-hour speeds to get you full span of the Coronado Bridge onto the island. Here's what it looks like outside. 805 North and Home Avenue. Some light brake tapping. Again, Friday light for the most part. This is a 15 in both directions right at Poway Road. And as we take a look at your travel times in from Encinitas as well as Escondido, 12 to about 26 minutes to get you southbound in from those areas on the 5 and the 15. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. Right now, U.S. airlines are canceling hundreds of flights because of an order from the FAA to reduce air traffic amid the government shutdown.
Yeah, this could impact your flight. San Diego International Airport's one of the hubs expected to reduce those flights. Let's check in with CBS 8's Regina Yarita live at the airport inside there with a look. Regina?
Hi, guys. Yeah, well, I just checked FlightAware again. This is a website that tracks flights across the nation. When we talk about San Diego International Airport, I was saying that there were 13 delays. Now we're up to 24 delays and 25 cancellations coming in or out of the San Diego International Airport. I've been getting questions about the TSA line. That's not really the issue to this. This is more air traffic, so your flights could be delayed or canceled. TSA lines, although we've seen longer TSA lines in the during this government shutdown, that is not what we're talking about. San Diego International Airport is one of the hubs expected to gradually reduce air traffic by 10% starting today. The San Diego Airport is asking, or at least letting passengers know that they need to arrive early to the airport, even for a domestic flight. They're also strongly encouraged to check their flight status before coming to the airport and plan to arrive no less than 2 hours before their flight. They're also asking travelers to exercise patience as airlines work to adjust flight schedules during this time. But here's what travelers told us yesterday.
It happens, and we figure it out. It's too bad.
A lot of trouble, especially with the Thanksgiving coming. A lot of travel, right? So I think if everybody can put their head together and just get the FAA going, that'll be great.
Now, this is a live image just at 6 a.m. right now, a little over 6 a.m., what the TSA line looks. It is moving along pretty smoothly. What I should say is that most of those workers, if not all, are working without pay. So you want to be patient during this time. Everybody is feeling it here, as well as air traffic control. That's why there's been a cutback. But the biggest thing that you can do today is arrive extra early and check your flight status, as it could change. For now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Regina, we'll check in with you throughout the morning to see the impact out there at San Diego International. Today, the Senate will vote in an effort to end the shutdown, but Democrats are expected to block it again, standing firm on their health care demands. Republicans are now discussing changing the Senate's filibuster rules to make it easier to reopen the government without Democratic votes. They would lower the threshold from 60 votes to a simple majority of 51. But the votes to end it aren't there. Republicans also hoped moderate Democrats involved in talks this week would support an amended spending bill and a promise to hold later votes on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. This morning, San Diegans are beginning to see their full SNAP benefits restored on those EBT cards.
Yesterday, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to pay the full amount this month. CBS 8's Chris Groh live along Harbor Island with reaction to the ruling from the White House. Chris?
Yeah, good morning. And look, reaction's actually been swift and pretty strong. While California Governor Gavin Newsom is claiming that California CalFresh recipients will begin to start seeing their full benefits, the Trump administration has appealed this ruling, which could send things into flux here when it comes to whether or not CalFresh recipients will receive full, partial, or any payment. So this is something to pay attention to, especially because today is the deadline that judge said, and then, of course, the Trump administration appealing. So all of this still really in legal limbo. But what we can tell you, of course, as we back up here, is that nearly 42 million Americans receive food stamps here through SNAP. This month, they were scheduled to receive none due to the government shutdown. The Trump administration was then taken to court. Two judges, respectively, both said that they must use contingency funds to partially fund benefits for the month of November. They went back to court just recently on Thursday, so just yesterday in Rhode Island, where the judge admonished the administration for taking their time, for not partially funding the program and being too slow, and then ordered that they must use other contingency funds to fully fund the program. Now, again, the administration has appealed the order, so while Governor Newsom is claiming again that this means that CalFresh recipients shall receive all of their benefits, the appeal could throw a wrench in things. Now, I do want to bring to your attention that there will still be some food drives to try to help some of those who have not received their benefits as of yet. If you look at your screen right now, Feeding San Diego is hosting a free large-scale emergency food distribution this Saturday. So tomorrow, this is going to be from 10 a.m. to 12. This is going to be at their headquarters in Sorrento Valley. No registration required. All are welcome. There will be both fresh produce and non-perishable groceries. Again, that is something that people can take advantage of if they still have not received anything on those EBT cards. But we will still try to, again, monitor exactly what is happening, including what this appeal means. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. The Prebys Foundation says there has been a 128% spike in people requesting food assistance within this past week alone compared to the numbers in September. And that's why the foundation donating $3 million. That's in emergency funding. Half of the money will go to the San Diego Food Bank. The other half will go to Feeding San Diego. We are told emergency funding will help provide 6 million meals across San Diego County. A special meeting will be held today to decide how to fill the seat left vacant by a Poway City Council member who resigned. Tony Blaine facing multiple felony charges, including bribery and perjury. Residents also voted to recall him. District 2 voters will choose Blaine's replacement in a special election costing $300,000. The council will meet at 11 a.m. today to set the date.
All right, heads up, drivers. Parts of the 5 will close once again this weekend, and it all starts tonight. Caltrans will close the southbound side of the freeway from State Route 52 to the Mission Bay Drive on-ramp. This is happening from 9 p.m. today through Monday at 5 a.m. You see that area right there impacted on this map, as well as the detours. We also have this map at cbs8.com.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Plan around it.
Yes, to go around. But the access to this spot right here might be impacted, our coastline.
Yeah.
But wow, it's going to be warm enough to have some beach days, right?
I feel like there are going to be a lot of people not only at the beach, but also in this pool right here as we head through the weekend and into early next week. This is a view of Hotel Del. Looks beautiful as we start off the day. I will say it's cloudy out there along our immediate coastline. That marine layer continues to kind of make a resurgence in the overnight stretch. That's not anything too menacing, considering that we should see that fog and low-level cloud cover clear over the next couple hours in anticipation for, I'd say, 8, 9 a.m. As early as that time frame, mid-morning, that we'll see a lot of that sunshine kind of start to prevail. 71 is that afternoon high out by the coast under mostly sunny skies. 79 inland, 80 for for the mountains and 89 for the deserts. If you're headed out to the beach, watch for warming temperatures through the weekend and even into early next week. If you want the warmest temperatures, you'll have to wait till Monday to get there. When you look at your satellite radar imagery, this is where we have that cloud cover for the most part, right along the immediate coastline west of the 5 freeway, but there are some pockets toward Valley Center and Poway where we'll notice a little bit of that cloud development over the next couple of hours. We have a beach hazard statement that stays in effect. We mentioned this yesterday. When you combine high tide, which is about 7 feet above sea level, with the up to 7-foot waves, we see the possibility of some not only minor coastal flooding, but strong rip currents too. So if you are getting into the water, please check in with a lifeguard, especially if you're not an experienced surfer or swimmer. On that 5-day forecast, as our ridge of high pressure starts to build, we see our temperatures climb daily. So starting tomorrow inland, our valleys could be in the 80s. And then by the time we get to Sunday, 86 degrees. We warm up even more by Monday, 87 degrees. And then after that, we start to see those temperatures slide. So going into the remainder of next week, clouds will build. We already see that on Tuesday. That's going to kind of set the stage for a chance for some wet weather in the forecast by this time next week. Still pretty far out, so I wouldn't hone in on it quite yet, but just be aware of that in the back of your mind, that a full week out, we could see that come to fruition. We're back in the 80s in Santee and El Cajon this afternoon, 73 in Coronado and downtown, some upper 60s out by the water, 75 for Vista, 78 for RB and Poway, and 82 in Ramona as well this afternoon. Want to send things over to Vanessa Paz, who's checking in on how traffic is shaping up on our Friday.
So far, so good. We'll call it a Friday light here. This is a live look outside on the 5 in both directions as you make your way through the curves into downtown. A little gloomy, but a little gloom never hurt anyone. Looks like the drive so far, so good traveling through downtown, making your way northbound. All right, we are dealing with some fog. That's what it looks like on the 78 right at Nordal. We're down to visibility probably less than a quarter of a mile. So this is as you make your way coming in from Escondido headed towards San Marcos. This is a westbound drive. You could typically see the lights. You can't really make out much. So yeah, just a heads up for anyone heading out of Escondido along the 78 freeway. All right, let's go ahead and see what's happening on your freeways. We have a breakdown reported on the 15 South at Villa Rancho. This came out about half an hour ago, but it's still active. A van specifically was stalled in the middle lanes, and looks like cars were swerving to dodge that. So just keep an eye out for that. Anywhere between 68 to 73 mile per hour speeds coming in from the North County. We're so far so good coming in from the East County. No major issues nor delays passing Lake Murray as you make your way on the 8 West. 64, 66 mile per hour speeds coming in from Chula Vista as well as National City. If you're traveling in from the Barrio Logan downtown area across the bridge towards Coronado, 62 mile per hour speeds there. Travel times in pretty good shape as well, anywhere between 12 to 26 minutes to get you southbound in from Encinitas as well as Escondido. About a 15-minute ride, full span of the 78. Just remember, we're dealing with that low viz out there. 5 to 7 minutes still on the green. Again, I still stand by my theory that most people opt for Friday to work from home because that's typically when it is the nicest on our freeways in terms of slowing. About 9 to 15 minutes headed northbound in from the Chula Vista National City neighborhoods. All right, 6:13 is the time, and here is a look at your border wait times. About an hour and a half coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry, and at last check coming in from Otay Mesa will take you about an hour.